How to get customers to buy your product. That's what we're going to talk about on today's show. And we're going to showcase a company that is helping us look at how you can get customers to buy something from you that they can't buy on Amazon. So let's jump into today's content. Hello everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I'm your host, Ed Troxel, and I am your digital marketer. I make everything easy for you to market your business here online without having to pay for ads. So if this is your first time joining, be sure to say hello, even if you're watching the replay. Typically, I go live on the show here on Wednesdays. Today is Friday, but you know what? It's good. This was a good story. I wanted to share it with all of you because one of my Edsters, who is an Edster is a Hey Ed Network member, and they shared with me this story. So we're going to look at this company. We've talked about them a lot here on the show over time, and we're going to talk about what they're doing to get people to buy from them versus on Amazon. So does that spark your interest? Let me know. Share your thoughts below. And this episode's a little rough because it's Friday and it's not our normal one. So, bear with me. It's all good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. So I'll be looking down a little bit just so you guys know. But I wanted to showcase this company because this article is really good. And we're going to break this article down so that you can take some of these bullet points that I'm going to go over and apply them to your business. So on my screen, you should be able to see, I'm going to get this all fancy here. There you go. You should be able to see, and if you're listening to the audio version of this, no worries, I'll be pointing this out. But here on my screen, I have Toys R Us. Who remembers Toys R Us? Let me know down below. Toys R Us, we always want to be a Toys R Us kid, right? And we've heard about them in the news. We've talked about them here on the show many times. We've even had a group panel discussion about Toys R Us. Thank you, Rhonda, for welcoming me back home. I'm so excited to be back and safe and sound. So Toys R Us is big. It's been in the news a lot because of the bankruptcy, and we've talked about different episodes. If you want to see those episodes, just let me know down below, and I will be sure to get you those links because they're good. And we even had a panel, myself and actually two of my Edsters, where we talked about what Toys R Us could have done differently, and I think they listened to us. I really do. I think they've been following the show. They're not really going to admit it, but I think they have because they picked up some good tips, and we're going to talk about that. So what Toys R Us is doing is they are bringing back Toys R Us for us. And it's going to be different, but they're bringing it back. And I want to kind of go through this article here from CNN Business because there's some really great points that they talk about. And if you want the link, just let me know below and I'll share it with you, even if you're watching the replay. But I want to point out a few things. So right here, this is going to be key, and I'm going to read it to you, especially because I know a lot of you will be listening to the audio version of this. So it says, quote, "We know that customers love shopping as a means of entertainment. That's something built into the DNA of human beings." Richard Berry, president and CEO of Toys R Us, parent company, True Kids, told CNN Business. He goes on to say, "We also know kids and families are looking for things to do on the weekends and when school's out. We know parents and families really value play and the value of toys overall. As we thought about the strategy, we wanted to put these things together." Now, understand that there is so much to unpack there, and we're not going to spend a ton of time because I have limited time today because I have a call with the Edsters. We do that every week, which you have time to join us if you'd like. But let's break this down really quickly. Hey, Deepa, thank you so much. So glad to see you, and thank you for welcoming back. So let's break this down real quick. He talks about knowing the customer, right? We talk about that all the time. If you're in business, you need to know your customer. At the very, very least, you should know normal human behaviors, right? Common behaviors. We like to shop. We like going to the store. We may not like the experience of that specific store or the experience of getting from point A to point B. But if you can provide a good experience, we definitely would like to go. We just do. We like to go out in the fresh air. We like to go out to the malls if we can, if they're worth it. Not necessarily because there's some, not necessarily just in general. So there has to be a good experience. They also talk about, we also know kids and families, that's their target market, are looking for things to do on the weekends and when school's out. Again, they know exactly what their customers, who their customers are and what they're trying to do. Trust me, this applies to all of your businesses when it comes to when work is out or school is out and when it comes to the weekends, right? Let me know, even if you're watching the replay. Then I want to come down here to a few other things that they talk about. Let me get back to, yes, it's here. I'm just going to quickly scroll through here. They talk about how they're changing up the store. They're going to be more, quote, interactive spaces where kids and parents can play with toys. Again, interactive. You can't buy that on Amazon. That's the cool thing that they talk about, is basically being able to, let me see if I have the quote here on my other notes. Give customers something that they can't buy on Amazon, which is an experience and interactive play. Literally, you get to come here, have this amazing experience, and interact with your kids and with the toys, not just virtual with video games and such. So really think about that. Let me see if I have the other spot that I was looking at here. This is a big one for you guys. If you're watching, you can see it highlighted on the screen. If not, I will just say it for those listening to the audio. Toys R Us website will also showcase fewer toys. Let me back up. Their website will showcase fewer toys, but they will give more details on them. They're looking to purchase items that will be redirected through Target. So they have a partnership with Target's website, and Target will help with the inventory and fulfillment. So let's unpack that real quick. They are talking about a website with less is more. We always talk about that. Less is more to offer. And then they're going to go in deeper with the information. So they're providing more details. We hear about that all the time. Less is more, and if you can, dive deeper into that niche that you're trying to target, right? The other thing that they talk about here is partnership with Target. So there, we talk about this all the time on the show. Teamwork equals success. Who can you partner with that can help you get to where you want to be, and how can you help them get to where they need to be? So really think about that as you go into the weekend, and if you're watching this later down the line, just keep that in mind as well. They also talk about how they're going to have a huge tree house in the middle of the store that kids will be able to climb into, and it will be an event space for movies in the store. We have great we'll have great brands in the store that's from Barry as well. So they talk about all these different things. Let's see. This one says the ticketed attraction costs $20 for children ages 4 to 12 and $28 for adults. It features toy-themed play areas for small children who the company hopes will bug their parents to buy them merchandise associated with the fun zone they just finished exploring. You see what they're doing? They're tapping into our senses. They're tapping into us being interactive, getting to touch, feel, and maybe smell, and be able to really engage with the product and then want it and not leave without it. Does that make sense? We see this with Apple. If you go into an Apple store, same idea. They're trying not to have anything tied down to the tables. You can pick up the phone. You can feel it. You can look at it. You can play with it. All those types of things. So really understand that there is something to be said for that. And for many of you, you might have an online business. That's fine. Maybe you don't have that retail store where people can do that. It's okay. You can still get creative with your products and being able to get that experience out there for others to want to buy from you. And if you need help, you need to reach out to me and I'll help you out with that. So anyway, that's like the bulk of it. They're basically going to do some pop-ups, which will be good for the holiday time. This one is kids as much as anything are digital consumers now. There's a couple quotes that I was pulling from there. Let's see. Yeah, so if you want the link to this article, I'll share it with you in the comments. But I just really wanted to point that out. And again, it's really knowing about your customer and really being able to fine tune what it is you're doing, and less is more. So really take a look at what you're doing and how can you break things down and go through that. So I hope that this was helpful and that you guys all go into the weekend ready to go and having a fantastic Friday afternoon or evening or morning, depending on where you're watching me from. And like I said, I cannot wait to get back in the swing of things for the schedule here. If you need anything or you want to jump over onto the Hey Ed call, which is going to be happening here at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, you can head over to heyednetwork.com, sign up, and you will be an official Edster, and then you get to have access to me all the time. Lucky you. And get your questions answered, as well as hang out with us on our weekly call. So go out there, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week. And I look forward to showing up on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on the page. Take care.